60 Minutes Overtime.
Of all the places you could have gone in the world, why did you come to Georgia?
I have friends here, I have a Pavel here, we met him before. In Instagram, I saw stories and I see many flags. And I said, oh, I choose that country. It's really, really good. I can live here.
And I knew 100% Georgia against the war.
This week on 60 Minutes, we report from Georgia, the small country that shares a 556-mile border with Russia. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, some 100,000 Russians have moved to Georgia, a staggering number in a country of just 3.7 million. There's significant fear among some Georgians that this will lead to the Russification of their country and be used as a pretext for Putin to invade Georgia again, as he did in 2008. But among the Russians who have moved in, some are vocal opponents of Putin, a feeling that was central to why they came in the first place. We spoke with George Smorgolenko, Emanuel Lisnev, and Pavel Bakadov, 3 young Russians who fled to Tbilisi last year. They are staunchly anti-war and feared being drafted into the military. The trio told us they feel there is no future for them inside Russia so long as Putin remains in power. Why did you decide to speak to us today?
Because I think things like that defines who you are. For me, it's really important to say for the big audience that can see this that Russians are really against the war. And I want the world to know this fact.
A lot of people we spoke to said they don't want the Russians here. They're very nervous about the Russification of Georgia.
When I looking for apartment, some apartment says no Russian, Ukrainian and Belarus.
It's about immigrants because owners don't know about can you pay in next month or not. And
how long you here?
They're afraid. I understand problem with Russian people, but we haven't choice to.
There are a lot of signs around town, spray painted, that say "Go home, Russians," and worse.
I'm already home, so.
You feel like this is home now?
Yes, of course.
Married couple Viktor Lygushkin and Bogdana Vashchenko have a unique story. He's Russian, she's Ukrainian. Before the war, they lived in Moscow and documented underwater caves for National Geographic. After Russia invaded Ukraine last year, they drove more than 1,200 miles from Moscow to Tbilisi, a trip they told us took 2 days because so many cars clogged the roads. Bogdana told us she hid under a blanket in the back seat because she was so afraid of what might happen to Ukrainians at Russian checkpoints. In the early days of the war, you both decided to leave Moscow. Why?
They started aggression against my own country, and where should I be? Probably not in the country, aggressor country.
You couldn't be there.
I couldn't physically, psychologically, I couldn't stay there, I couldn't sleep.
The couple told us they first tried to stay with Viktor's friends in Russia, but the friends wanted to know if Bogdana supported what they called the fascists in Ukraine. If she did, the friends said they would report her to Russian intelligence. Instead, Viktor and Bogdana went to Georgia. Do you still identify Ukraine as your home? If I said to you, what's home, you would say Ukraine.
Ukraine is my home.
And if I said to Viktor, what is home?
Нигде.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
With me?
With you.
Will you ever go back to Russia?
Нет. Наш разговор, который мы сейчас проведем, может наказываться по российским законам тюрьмой до 8 лет.
So you can never go back, even if you wanted?
Нет, у меня нет никаких планов.
Is this where you'll stay?
I love Georgia. I would like to continue my work in Georgia. Here in Georgia, I love it much more than any other state in the world, except Ukraine. You cross Georgian border, and you feel you are safe. Freedom, no Putin.
Just exhale.
Yeah.